Gunners of Africa, you're welcome to the show. And this is a special show packed for you. Right now, we'll be talking about the analysis between Arsenal and Manchester United, which is coming up this weekend. And we're dissecting some tactical analysis with my co-presenter, Ash. Now, let's make you realize that this new formation from ARTETA is being welcomed by some and not welcomed by so many. So right now we'll be knowing if these tactics is what we need right now, or if this experiment is needed for some other time in the season. Join us as I welcome Ash to the show. Welcome to the show, Ash.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah, as you can see, we'll be talking about some tactical analysis concerning the game against Manchester United coming up this weekend. And you know, this is a classic, and for any team to emerge victorious, they have to have their tactical game intact, top notch. And this game is not about form; it's about who wants it more at the end of the day. Now, considering the new tactics from ARTETA, it's something that seems to be a plan B, and it's something that we've not really seen before, even in preseason. Do you think it's wise to go with the same 3 at the back tactics? Why? 3 at the back tactics while attacking, and 4 at the back tactics while defending, with Thomas Partey at right back specifically.
Yeah, against the Manchester United team.
Against the Manchester United team, yeah.
Actually, no, I don't think it's wise.
Why?
Playing against a team which we know are dangerous down the flanks.
Yeah.
Manchester United are that team. And they play beautifully when they sit back and counter. You have Bruno Fernandes, who is so good at giving these progressive passes.
Yes, Eriksen and
the rest. You saw what Eriksen did last year at Old Trafford.
Yes.
So going against this Manchester United team, I think in this game we need to dominate as much as we can.
Yeah.
And then we need to crop out those mistakes at the back.
Yeah.
And actually, most people will not agree, but we're making mistakes at the back because of the formation we are playing right now.
Especially at the Emirates.
You understand? And I'm not saying we didn't make mistake last season with the normal formation, but right now, we're making this mistake because these players are trying to get used to this formation. And against a team like Manchester United, although they are not that fantastic this
season, so far,
you want to go into that game knowing that we're actually going there to do what we know works.
Okay.
You get?
Yeah, I get you. Actually, it's what you said now is just it. We need something different. Now, considering the wingers we are meeting, you have a certain Kiwi playing left back. From what we've seen so far, a certain Kiwi playing left back who is not so solid at the left back role at the moment, and a certain Thomas Partey who is inverting from the right back. And now there seem to be some arguments between some fans that Thomas Partey is doing the right back and the inversion role very well, whereas some fans are also saying that he needs to return back to the midfield ASAP. Do you think we need a Rice and Partey midfield that's two pivotal 6 in that midfield to repel Man U's attack?
Going into that game is a tricky one though.
Yeah.
You know, at the time I wake up one morning and I say, well, I still have to go with Kai Havertz.
Yeah.
You know,
we'll be coming to Kai Havertz actually.
Understanding the fact, probably understanding the fact that United won't want much of the ball.
Yes.
And we will have much of the ball.
Yes.
So he might say, okay, fine, since we'll have much of the ball, I will still go with Partey. But the thing is, since Zinchenko is fit and fit enough to play, because when he came on against Fulham, oh boy, you understand?
Yeah, it was mad.
So if he's fit enough to play, I think Zinchenko goes back to the left back position and Partey goes back to the midfield, and then Ben White back to the right back position. We can invert from the left.
Yeah, but don't you think Erik ten Hag watching previous games tactically, don't you think he want to flood in the midfield, believing or anticipating that Thomas Partey will spend some time at the right back position based on Marcus Rashford, who is there, probably will be keeping him busy and making Rice the lone 6. And you know, we've not really seen Rice perfect that lone 6 role against top teams. We've just been seeing that against mid-level teams. We don't really know what he can bring into the game at the midfield against a top 6 for a lone 6. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say.
I think if you have Thomas Partey
and
Declan Rice sitting in front of that defense
Yes.
against Manchester United, they both of them have two different job or role to play.
Yeah.
You have one who has to keep the ball, take the play,
Yeah.
and we all know how good Declan Rice is at chasing down loose balls.
Yeah. Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
So if Manchester United are coming with the fact that, oh, we want to counter, I think we have two different players of two different profiles to suit any system.
Okay.
You
It
get
all,
me?
it all boils down to Mr.
It
Arteta
all
at
boils
the end
down to
of the
Mikel
day,
Arteta.
how dynamic he can be, because sometimes I fear, because Eric Ten Hag is a very proactive manager. He sees the game, he reads the game, and he doesn't waste time to change what's in the game. Now moving forward to the show,
But I don't expect Eric Ten Hag to come to Emirates and sit back.
he won't want to sit back, because considering the recent tactics now, while it's a very good tactics, let's not take it away from that, but while defending, we are left so much spaces, and that's where Rashford comes in to pocket some of those spaces. I'm sorry, even Anthony is very good at pocketing spaces most of the time. Even if he may not score, Rashford is there to give him the ball. Bruno Fernandes is also there to strike, like you saw in the preseason. Bruno was left free and he struck the ball. Now moving forward, we have conceded numerous amount of goals at the Emirates inside 5 minutes. Do you see that happening against Manchester United side?
Well, I think last season at the Emirates,
Yeah,
Rashford took us by surprise.
yeah, it took us by
It took
surprise.
us by surprise.
Yes,
So going
exactly.
into this game, I feel like if we can crop out those mistakes, the goals you're talking about are down to our mistakes.
Yeah.
You understand? So if you can crop out those mistakes, I feel like, yeah, we shouldn't concede. When the game starts, get your head in the game. Don't feel like the game starts after 20 or 30 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't feel like the game starts after you concede. The game
Yeah.
starts from the first whistle. Keep your head in the game. You understand? I know that you're playing against a team that needs one chance, and
Exactly.
so if we can get that right, crop out the mistakes and keep our heads in the game, definitely we shouldn't concede.
Yeah, another tactical discussion we should be having now is about Bukayo Saka. You can see in the last two games, Crystal Palace and the Fulham game, he has been choked up. You see some 2v1 situations, some 3v1 situations, and sometimes it appears to be that when Odegaard is not really active, it really affects him. And with this new tactics, we don't really see Ben White have that overlapping run, and you can't expect that from Thomas Partey. So, and my United will want to also fish out on that by watching these previous clips, how they kept him out, and also do that. Do you see any tactical way that Bukayo can be able to escape this situation? Because my boy, oh boy, this guy, we need his individual brilliance to thrive.
I think against Fulham,
Yeah,
the forward runs we were talking about,
yeah,
Kilville was the one making those runs towards the midfield. He was more of the player going forward,
Yeah.
more than Ben White.
yeah.
You understand? So I think that in this situation right now, it's a tricky situation. You
Exactly.
It's a tricky situation because once Odegaard is in the game, every other person is
Yeah,
in the game.
every other person is exactly,
You
exactly.
understand? So looking at this situation right now, I feel like Bukayo Saka already has an understanding with Ben White.
Yeah.
It's top-notch understanding.
But so far this season we haven't seen that overlapping apart from the Community Shield.
It boils down to the system
Exactly.
that we are playing actually.
Yeah.
It boils down to the system that we are playing actually. You know, when Kivio goes, somebody has to be there with Saliba
Yeah.
because Partey is actually literally inverting the
Yeah.
midfield role.
Yeah, because if you look at if you can go back to the Andres Pereira goal, the Fulham goal, where the space actually was where Saliba ought to be. The space where Andres Pereira had, that is this space he had. So you saw Ramsdale and he had to play the ball to the post. That space Saliba had normally is in that space if Gabriel is on the pitch, but right now he wasn't there. And these are the kind of spaces that Ten Hag needs to eat you up. You understand? Like I said, in this game, it's a game of tactics. Who wins? Who wants it more? You understand? So, do you feel this tactics is needed, or do you feel we should revert back to the normal 4-2-3-1 we do, plus with our fullbacks inverting and
It's a
and all
big
that?
team. It's a big team. It's a big game.
Yeah.
And in a big game like this, Manchester United is Arsenal is a big game. In a big game like this, you don't experiment
Okay.
against a team like this, regardless of their performance so far this season.
Yes,
You don't
yes.
experiment. It's a big game. You go into the game with what is working. It's just like you going into the Manchester City game trying to experiment in the
Yeah.
Community Shield. You did
Yeah.
not experiment.
Exactly.
You played what was
Well,
working
yeah,
already.
always working. Yeah.
So if you're going into this Manchester United game, go in with what is already working. Now, I really want to see Gabriel Magalhaes back in the starting side.
Exactly.
I want to see him back in the starting side, and I want to see that partnership with Saliba again.
Yeah, yeah.
You understand?
Yes, because Gabriel Magalhaes looks still sharp, though. He still looks sharp. We saw him coming off the bench against Crystal Palace. We saw how he was leading the midfield. Now let's talk about Martinelli. Currently, Martinelli so far throughout this season, he hasn't really given us the Martinelli vibes that we used to know. The running behinds, the Arutu, you see. So, do you see it down to the system, or it's just the usual Martinelli lack of form? First of all.
But I think I'll put it down to the season just beginning.
Okay.
I'll put it down to the season just beginning because he's making those runs.
Yeah.
He's just lacking the finish to it
Oh,
and
okay.
the end product. You understand?
Yeah.
Against Fulham, he made a run across Tete,
Yeah.
but he outrun the ball.
Okay.
You understand? So looking at Martinelli currently, I feel like it's just a thing of the season is just beginning.
Okay.
So I wouldn't want to put it down to the system and all
But
that.
but what if I tell you it's down to the system? Because they tactically, like, this is a tactical show, you understand me? Tactically, there seems to be a triangle at both the right part of the pitch and the left part of the pitch as well. If you don't know, I'll tell you. Odegaard, the
I know.
Saka, Ben White connection. You understand? That's for the right side. Then for the left side, we had Granit Xhaka, Zinchenko pocketing into midfield, Xhaka and Martinelli, and that quite worked for all three of those players. It worked for Xhaka. It helped Xhaka to drift forward, knowing that Martinelli is back. It helped Martinelli to also drift forward, making that diagonal pass to him. Before you know, he runs in behind defenders and has the space to play his shot. So don't you think Havertz, Havertz's lack of form is affecting Martinelli in that sense? Because we saw couple of clips whereby Havertz had space to turn, make a pass, but he couldn't, or he didn't have the confidence to do so. So I don't know. Don't you think about Havertz being? I'm not trying to blame Havertz for his form though, but
Actually, I wasn't expecting Kai Havertz to come in at Arsenal and replace Granit Xhaka in the twinkle of an eye. No,
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting that. And I wasn't expecting the manager to integrate him into the team like this. You understand? I felt like it would take time. This guy's been playing as a top 9 for God knows how long.
Okay.
Does he even know what it's like to be a midfielder?
Exactly.
And then, not just being a midfielder, the task you want this guy to carry out.
Yeah.
Look at what Granit Xhaka was doing at Arsenal. Man, like, look at what he was doing.
Yeah, it
We
really
never
worked.
knew he could be such a very good attacking player until he played that position.
Yeah.
You understand? Now, looking at Havertz, I felt like, well, yeah, he could do the attacking side of the whole thing because he was a top 9. But the defensive side of the whole thing, and then the system. This player is new to the system. He doesn't really understand the system. He needs to learn the system.
I feel he doesn't understand the system.
And not just learning the system, he needs to relearn how to be a midfielder.
Exactly. It's not about confidence. He's a
He needs to
professional
relearn
player.
how
He's
to be a
just
midfielder.
he needs to tactically wise. He needs to unlearn some things. All those stuff in Chelsea, he needs to unlearn those stuff in Chelsea and learn the stuff in Arsenal because he's having the space actually. Some fans may say he's in for positional discipline. You understand? But the truth is that Havertz has more space than any other Arsenal player on the pitch. But he can't utilize those spaces. Playing against a certain one, Bissaka. Martinelli can't just do it easily on his own. He needs aid from be it Zinchenko, be it Kai Havertz or certain ball. I don't know. But currently we are feeling that Arteta will still hold on to the Kai Havertz being on the starting lineup. But how do you feel we can be able to boycott that challenge on the left wing tactically?
You're talking about Wan-Bissaka.
Yeah.
Man, boycotting Wan-Bissaka is like, I don't know, it's like trying to win the league over Pep Guardiola. No, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Mitoma played against Wan-Bissaka last season, and at the
Yeah.
end of the game, he said total defeat. You understand?
Yeah.
This Wan-Bissaka is good when it comes to. It might not really be good offensively, but when it comes to the defensive duties and all that, Wan-Bissaka is good. And so I think defeating Wan-Bissaka in that position, I feel like Martinelli is going to do the job.
1v1.
But like you said, he needs support.
Exactly.
And that support comes when this triangle you're talking about
Yes.
is working. You get me? If the triangle is working, it will work, because definitely the triangle, I feel like if the triangle is on the other side of the pitch, the Odegaard, Bukayo Saka, and Ben White, whoever is on that place, in that place,
will suffer.
Dalot or whoever will suffer. So if that triangle is working on this other side of the pitch, I think Martinelli will have enough rooms to make those runs in behind.
Yes, exactly.
The defense. But when that triangle is not working, you expect him to actually be on the ball a lot and not being able to make those runs. Now, this boils down to the personnel you're talking about, whether it's Kai Havertz, be it is Zinchenko, be it is who Trossard or Smith Rowe, because I feel like sometimes Trossard should be tried in that position. He was played in that position against the MLS All-Stars.
Against this same Man United I think that was in January when we won them by 3 goals.
Yes. So I feel like he should be tried in that position. And he was also played in that position against Southampton when we needed a goal. He came off the bench and that shot hit the post. He was playing in that position. So I feel like if we start with the Kai Havertz thing, you understand, and it's not working, we should bring somebody who is actually tricky enough to play in that position, because the Trossard is a player who's intelligent, not just intelligent,
unpredictable.
Yeah, he knows how to attack different spaces in the pitch, which I understand Miguel Arteta wanting Kai Havertz to actually be on the pitch, because he makes those brilliant runs behind the defenders.
Exactly.
He makes those brilliant, but the problem we are having with Kai Havertz right now is, after you make those runs, what next? That is just the problem we're having with Kai Havertz right now. He's making those runs. He's attacking spaces. Positional discipline. He's doing it. You understand?
Yeah.
He's making those runs. He's attacking those spaces. He's actually doing, when it comes to that, he's doing a good job. But what we want from him is, we want that extra more from Kai Havertz.
Okay. Now let's talk about the final bit of the show. And that will be the Partey, Casemiro sharing a midfield and the Emirates. You know, when 12 and they fight, that the grass is sufferer. So
actually, that's the more reason why I want Partey.
Yeah, to be in that midfield.
Yeah. You understand? I don't want the whole right back inverting thing and all that.
Yeah.
Like I said, this is not a game to experiment. You can experiment against Nottingham Forest. You can experiment against Crystal Palace. You can experiment against Fulham. You cannot experiment against Manchester United.
Okay. Do you still want to give Havertz a shot against Man U, or you will let Trossard be in that position if it were to be you, actually?
Actually, Havertz being in that position is experimenting. Trossard being in that position is experiment. It's experimenting.
But you can't actually say it's experimenting now. You can't actually.
Well, it's actually, for me though. For me personally, I would want having a midfield of Declan Rice and Partey. I don't know. I feel it makes us a little bit defensive.
Yeah, to control the midfield.
You understand?
Yeah.
But having a midfield of Trossard and Partey and then Odegaard, it makes us more offensive. Partey can do the job. But left for me, I think I will start with Kai Havertz going into the game, and then if it's not working, you pull him out and probably. But starting with Kai Havertz means that Partey will be a right back.
All right. Thank you so much, Ash, for being with us for the tactical analysis show.